Hey everybody, a lot of students who are newer to Excel sometimes have a lot of trouble graphing supply and demand. I'm just making this video to show you how to do it. So let's just start with straight supply and demand here. You'll probably start with just a supply and demand schedule. All you need to start out is price, and then levels for supply and demand. And I guess really the bare minimum is either price and either supply or demand. But what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the Insert tab in the ribbon here. And a lot of people, they want to insert a line chart, but we actually need a scatter plot. And you really need just a scatter plot with lines going through it. I like to have the little bubbles just so I know where my values are. But I don't know if you saw, but Excel was trying to make it for us. But you can do that. Just click somewhere on your data and go to Insert in a chart. Excel will just make it for you a lot of the time, but I'll show you how to make it from scratch. So to make it from scratch, you just have to click outside of your data, go to Insert, insert this scatter plot with straight lines and markers. You'll have this white box. You can right click, select data, and then you'll see this box pops up that says select data source. You can click add, and then the series name, you can just click on the name of the cell with a label in it. I'll plot supply first, then you can hit the tab button to go to the next box, and then you'll select your X values. Your X values are on your horizontal axis, the X axis. That is going to be the quantity supplied in this case. So I'll just highlight all that. I'll press tab again, and then on my Y values, on my Y axis, the vertical axis here, will be the price, or any dollar amount that you have. Once you select that, you'll press OK, and then you'll do the same thing for demand. And there's that. If you want to add labels and everything, you can click on the chart, go to the Design tab, and then add chart element. You can I mean there's all kinds of things you can add here, but axis titles, you can add these. We can go price, let's see, quantity. I can even make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. Also, in this Design tab, there's all kinds of different chart styles. This dark one's easy on the eyes, but there's all kinds of cool things you can do. One thing I like to have is a legend, just on the bottom there. Another thing that teachers will often ask you to do is to shift the supply or demand curve. If you're going to have more than one supply or demand curve, the original curve, I usually like to just have a 0 after it, or you call that not, like supply not and demand not. And then your supply 1 and demand 1 will be the shifted curves. To shift a curve, you could either do a percent shift. So you can multiply the original curve by 1.2. That would be 20% greater. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Or you could just do a fixed dollar amount. Let's say we'll add 10 to each of those. And then you'll see in gray that new supply curve there. For demand, but we can do the same thing. Make sure you're adding to the demand curve. It's easy to get them mixed up. And then we'll just add that again. Let's go to add demand and then price. And there that is. If you want lines to go through these dots, that's where you need to adjust the axis. Okay, sorry about that. Just had to move this over. So yeah, so after you right click on the axis, press Format Axis, you'll see some axis options here. Your minimum, as we can see, is $0. Our maximum is $12. But we could change that. But we to get the lines, as you can see, our lines are on our major unit. If we change that major unit to 1, you can see we now have increments in $1 increments. You can make those as small or large as you like, but that can help to make your chart more clear. Also, we can do the same thing on the x-axis. We can make, I think the smallest unit we have is 10 here, so we can make our major unit 10, and now our equilibriums. If we want to show it on the equilibrium, we could even do that. So now we can see the market clearing price, or I guess the market clearing price is $5.50. Oh, I guess this is our new market clearing price, where supply 1 and demand 1 intersect. Our market clearing price is $5 and our market clearing quantity is 60. Well, feel free to leave a comment if you like this or if you want to see something else. And I will include a link in the description with a copy of this Excel sheet if you want to use it, or if you just want to play around with it, see how I did it. It'll be in the description. See ya.